When will you meet with your team? And
Oh, shoot, I've met him.
okay. And how many kids are you expecting for spring football?
Oh, I'm getting around 55, 60 guys that will be in spring ball. I met them this morning at 6 a.m. So we had our workouts there in the weight room and just started getting things going. I mean, we had some, we're maxing out, doing some good lifts, making some corrections and all that that are going to make us bigger, stronger, and faster in a hurry.
And talk about recruiting. When you get such a late start, do you look more at JUCOs, or can you think you can still get some really good high school kids at this late game?
Well, you know, it's funny, in the media, it's funny how this stuff sort of leaks out, you know, that I was coming, because my phone has been burning up. I am getting emails from guys in Texas, California, high school kids in Kansas. Some of these guys are already supposedly committed to other schools in our league that may want to come here. So I think that's a plus. So we're just getting started. I realize it's a little late supposedly in the process, but the number one thing is fit. So we're going to look for the guys that fit our culture, that are going to graduate here and do the right things. And we'll find them. They're everywhere. I mean, it's amazing how many players are going to be available to us. So yeah, of course, I mean, we're going to work it all. I mean, number one for us in recruiting is local. I mean, it's right here. I mean, if the parents can drive to the games, that's even better. If a guy has the passion and the work ethic that we desire to develop upon, then we're going to recruit him. And then we're going to, go across the whole state of Kansas and make this I say this figuratively, the small college of choice in the state of Kansas. So after K-State and KU, we're the next one, and that's the plan. So that's where we're going.
What can you take from having been on Coach Snyder's staff twice? What do you take from that to this job?
Oh, shoot. A couple things. Shoot. I got a book this big about this. Now, you understand, when I first got there, on Coach Snyder's staff, I was fortunate. He sits at the front of the staff table, and I was, right to his right-hand side. I think because nobody else wanted to sit there at first. I just, that was where I sat. And then we had some other good coaches on the staff. So, Bobby Stoops was there, just a couple seats down. Mark Mangino was a GA, he sat in the corner, and we sort of worked our way across with some Jim Levitt. Was on the staff there. He's now with the 49ers, just got a Super Bowl ring there. And, I think I learned the details and the organization of how to run a program. He had a tremendous relationship with his president and the vice president and the deans there. I mean, they really were all put together and knew the mission of what they needed to accomplish, which, as we know now, is the greatest turnaround in the history of college football. So you learn a lot, you take notes, you keep journals and all that kind of stuff, and all this stuff I've tried, reworked it, found ways to make it better for me personally, because you're going to notice already there's a difference between Coach Snyder and I. Okay, I enjoy the media. I like to get out and do some things like that. Not that he doesn't, but I just recall, things were very precise on when he had the time to do that. Shoot, I think I already gave Bob my cell phone number, so we exchanged that. So I think, I want to be accessible to that because, this is a special time, a special place, and I learned a lot about that from Coach Snyder. Absolutely.
Have you been able to kind of polish back up on what the KCAC is all about? I know you probably do a little bit of it when you're in Emporia, but
yeah,
it's changed definitely in the last, probably the last 5 or 6 years. It's really changed.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a great league. There's no question. Great conference. The little exposure I had it when I was at Emporia. I mean, Coach Kessinger came down. And that's what he was talking about last night. We helped him out with his offense, and he wanted to do some no-back things and all that. So he watched some spring practice, and we took him in my rooms there, and we cliniced him a little bit on some of the things that could help him here. So I understood that. I do know that from Dr. Zinger, the AD at KU, I mean, he just told me what it was like when he was getting recruited back in those days, and he came to Bethany, and it was like, you just look like an army out there, guys. So, you know, it was sort of a neat deal when you look at that. That was my exposure to the KCAC. So that's all I really knew. You know, hopefully Friends doesn't look at the score when they played Emporia, because I had to take the starters out at halftime. So hopefully they don't forget. You know, they forget that, and they're friendly to us. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just one of those things that I understand. You know, the league. I understand the great schools and in this conference, and look forward to competing against every single one of them.
What can you bring with you? You've been at K-State, been at Emporia State, gone back to the high school level. You're coming back to college again. That change your perspective any?
Oh, completely. I've learned stuff at the high school level. Now, the crazy thing is, I honestly think in the last decade I've probably made as dramatic a change in coaching as anybody I've ever talked to. It's like, I keep bringing up Dr. Zinger. He goes, you're one of the guys that can coach in high school or in the pros and be okay with it. And I love it. It's about the game. So I think, you know, I was actually have become the offensive coordinator of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the Canadian Football League. And I was just vacationing in North Carolina. They made a change in the general management. It's a community-owned team, sort of like the Green Bay Packers. And they fired the GM and the coaching staff. So I'm sitting there, it's like, okay, what am I going to do now? I'm a football coach. It was late. And we're in Asheville, which is in the mountains of western North Carolina. And, you know, this job opened up. And, you know, and I didn't know anything about it. It was close to where my cabin was, you know, on a stream there where you know, fly fish and all that stuff. And, you know, it was, I had heard about it. I said, yeah, I'm going to walk in and meet the principal, you know. So walked in and told him I wanted to be his next football coach. And I think he said something like, do you know that we're the losingest program in the history of North Carolina, or something crazy like that. And I said, well, I don't care. It's about teaching and coaching and working with kids. And I think after he figured out that he Googled my name and all that good stuff that you can do nowadays, and thought, and said, are you serious about this? I said, yeah, I'm serious, because I will be here for 3 years, I told him back then. And if I'm not, I will give you a whole year's salary back as a buyout. So you have nothing to worry about. And hey, I did it for 3 years. This opportunity just happened to come up where my daughter is graduating high school there and all that. So, but you know what? It was interesting. I learned so much, because sometimes you get caught up in, like at Texas Tech, we hired you got a strength coach and he does the weight room. You got an equipment guy and he's doing the laundry. Well, shoot, I did the laundry the last 3 years, and it's okay. It's just fine. I probably learned more about things doing that than anything else. I learned that nothing is too little because it's all important. And that's probably the thing I learned the most about being in high school. And just the details. I mean, it really comes down to that. And, doing some special things with that. But it doesn't matter. But go by and walk across campus and we see trash on the ground, you just freaking pick it up. You don't wait for somebody else to do it. You make sure everything's done right. And I think that's what I learned in high school. And I think when I got in there and started figuring it out, that, okay, this laundry's piling up. I guess Coach better pick it up. I learned how to use these machines. So, one of those things. And I'm fortunate to have had that experience the last 3 years. Absolutely.
Getting back to your triple shoot,
Yeah.
What kind of kid do you look to quarterback this? Because obviously there's a lot of intricacies involved.
Yeah.
He's got to be able to do a lot of things, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cerebral would be number one. I can, after having to coach at all the different levels and developing quarterbacks, I've had quarterbacks that are runners first, and have a decent arm that I've had to develop. And then, heck, in Winnipeg, I had Michael Bishop. If you remember Michael, he was my quarterback up there. And he had the strongest arm I've ever seen. Man, that guy. I mean, the Canadian League field is wider and longer, 20-yard end zones, and we're under a dash team, and he's rolling out. He turns around and puts the ball 85 yards in the air. I had to redo the film and practice. What? I mean, he just the ball humped. He's a different quarterback than I'd ever seen, and he's special. And what a leader! And we got him because I called Coach Snyder and said, "Hey, what's Michael doing today?" So he came up right after I got the job. The quarterback I'm looking for, most of it's up here. A passion to lead a team and to make some good things happen. I've had, I think 4 quarterbacks throw for over 500 yards in a game. I had one kid, Timmy Lynch at Hobbs, that went 50 of 64 for 585 yards, which was a record at the time. Some of our fans, we ended up, at the time, it was the longest game in the history of college football. I think after that, BYU and somebody beat it by 10 minutes or something. But, one of those things. So I look for a guy that has the tools, his mechanics are solid enough that I can develop. And that's what we're going to do.